I just purchased a $200,000 diamond ring using my son's credit card. Are there any complaints from the simple wife? I am so happy to have a doctor as a son. What? A diamond ring? For $200,000? Are you sure you don't mean a $2 toy ring? My, you and your jealousy really has gotten to your head now. Cooper went ahead and gifted me this $200,000 handmade diamond ring. I just went and signed for it, and later on, I'll send you the pictures. So Cooper went and bought that ring for you? That's what I've been saying. All right, let me go take a picture of it right now and send it your way. It's true. That is definitely a luxury handmade ring. But I can't imagine Cooper being able to afford something like this. Cooper is a doctor, you know. Of course he can easily afford this. Or could it be that he doesn't buy you anything? What do you mean by that? Oh, it's simple. Since Cooper doesn't love you, he doesn't buy you anything, not even a ring. I mean, come on, it makes sense, right? Someone like you, such a low-class, stupid woman, is just on a completely different level from Cooper. And, of course, from me as well. Cooper doesn't love me? Well, that may be true. But calling me a low-class, stupid woman, huh? Exactly. You're a low-class, low-income, and uneducated woman. Am I wrong? You and I are fundamentally different kinds of people. It's almost generous of us to have let a woman like you into this family. Look, I get it. You're really proud of the ring, but can we stop this already? No, we can't stop. You see, you're seriously lacking in gratitude towards us. Your family is poor, right? You should be thankful you can even live this life thanks to us. Thanks to you? But Cooper only makes $300 a month. Liar, you ugly woman. You've really lost your mind, haven't you? Not just your appearance, but now your head, too. I guess that's what happens when you're poor. Everyone becomes a liar. I'm telling the truth. I've kept quiet about it until now, but I've been barely supporting him this whole time. However, I'm done with that kind of life, so we'll be getting a divorce soon. After we divorce, you'll have to take care of him, so good luck with that. Oh my goodness, you're scared! I've never seen someone so delusional. Do you need me to take you to the hospital or something? Or, better yet, why not have your dear Dr. Cooper take a look at you? Hey, what on earth is this all about?
Huh? No, wait, you've got it wrong. It's not what you think.
Wrong about what? What are you even talking about?
Isn't this about the engagement ring?
What? Are you saying you sold the engagement ring?
Well, yeah, there's this guy I know who's really knowledgeable about these things. He said if I was going to sell it, now is the best time. He mentioned that prices for jewelry like that are really high right now, and there's a chance I could get more than what I originally paid for it. So I figured, why not? I thought I could get a good price for it.
Wait a second, you sold the ring? And not just any ring, my engagement ring?
Yeah, I sold yours too, but listen, I bought that ring for you, so technically it's mine. Besides, you haven't been wearing it for a while now, so I figured you didn't need it anymore. You know, since we're getting divorced and all, I thought of it as part of the separation process, like a symbolic thing.
You've got to be kidding me. This isn't about whether I'm wearing it or not. Selling the engagement ring behind my back? That's beyond messed up.
I didn't have much of a choice, okay? I was broke. You, as my wife, should just stay quiet and understand my situation.
What the hell did you just say?
Dave came by again, pressuring me to pay up. He even said that if I don't settle things soon, you might end up getting hurt too. He was desperate. I was just trying to protect you, that's all.
Wow, aren't you clever with your words? So, let me get this straight. You sold the engagement rings to protect me?
Exactly! You know how dangerous Dave can be. I was just looking out for you.
Right, but who's the one who borrowed money from someone like Dave in the first place?
Well, I didn't really have a choice. No other lenders would give me a loan. Dave, on the other hand, doesn't care about credit scores or background checks. Sure, the interest rates are high, but at least he'll lend to anyone.
Ah, I see. So you took out a high-interest loan from a dangerous guy just to blow it all on gambling. How admirable. And yet, for some reason, your mother seems to dote on you endlessly despite this kind of behavior.
No, it's not like that. My mom doesn't dote on me exactly. She just sees me as a status symbol. To her, I'm just the son of a doctor. That's all I am to her, a way for her to show off. She doesn't really care about me as a person.
That's funny, coming from the guy who bought his mom a $200,000 luxury diamond ring.
What did you just say?
You heard me. A $200,000 luxury ring. Don't play dumb. You bought that car for her, didn't you? With your credit card. I saw how thrilled your mom was about it, and she even showed me pictures of the ring. Today was the delivery day, wasn't it?
Is this some kind of prank? Think about it for a second. How would I have $200,000 to spend on a diamond ring right now? I'm drowning in debt as it is, and I can barely keep my head above water.
Then explain to me why your mother has that ring. She doesn't work, so there's no way she could afford something like that on her own. Your father's inheritance is long gone, too. So where did she get the money for that car?
What the hell is going on here? Hey, Mom, I heard you bought a handmade diamond ring and that I bought it for you?
Oh, that's right. I forgot to mention it to you. You left your credit card at my place, so I went ahead and used it.
What?
That diamond ring, I've always wanted it. I'm so happy I finally got my hands on it.
Wait a minute, isn't that the $200,000 ring?
Of course. I thought I could just tell you later, so I didn't think it was a big deal. But it's no big deal, right? I mean, $200,000 isn't that much, is it? After all, you're a doctor.
Well, it's just that...
If I had asked you to buy it before, you would have said yes anyway, right? I know I didn't tell you beforehand, and for that I'm sorry, but it's fine, isn't it?
$200,000 is a bit much, even for me.
What do you mean? Sam, you're a doctor. You can make $200,000 in just 3 months, can't you?
3 months? I mean, yeah, I'm a doctor, but I'm still pretty new to the field. I haven't even started my own practice yet, and it's not like I'm rolling in money.
Huh? What are you even talking about? You're a doctor. Act like one. You should be proud and confident. You're my pride and joy, my brilliant son. Don't get all gloomy over a mere $200,000.
Mere $200,000? You're lucky I'm only a little gloomy about it.
I don't want my proud son texting me to complain about something as trivial as this. Just let it go, okay?
Mom!
Hey, Hannah, excuse me for a moment.
What is it?
There are some strange people hanging around outside my house. They're demanding to see Cooper.
What? And why exactly aren't you telling me this?
Because they can't get in touch with Cooper. What's going on with him these days? Where is he?
Who knows? Cooper disappeared in the middle of the night, you know? He packed up and fled.
What did you say?
He most likely ran away to escape from his creditors. Considering the massive debt he's accumulated, especially after that additional $200,000, he looked completely desperate. There was no way out for him.
Massive debt? What are you even talking about? Don't tell me. Did he take on someone else's debt? Did he take over your debt by any chance?
This is such a pain to explain. I've already told you before, he's practically unemployed. I've been the one earning the money and covering our living expenses.
That's ridiculous. There's no way that's true. Cooper is my son. The idea that he's buried in debt and unemployed is simply impossible. Besides, Cooper graduated from a prestigious medical school and became a doctor. How can you even suggest that he's living such a miserable life?
He quit being a doctor a long time ago. Since then, he's just been hopping between part-time jobs. He kept up the appearance of being a doctor only in front of you, his dear mother. He did indeed graduate from medical school. That part's true, but pretending to still be a doctor? Well, that's not as hard as it seems, especially when it comes to keeping up appearances.
No, this can't be true. There's no way my son, my Cooper, would do something like that.
And what makes you so certain about that? Forgive me for saying this, but you've never really had any social or career accomplishments of your own, right?
How dare you say something like that? That's beyond rude. I'll have you know, my parents were highly successful and influential, and my late husband was the CEO of a company. And my son Cooper is a doctor. He worked hard and became a respected doctor.
Sure, your parents were great, and your husband may have been a successful CEO, but what about you? What have you accomplished?
What?
I'm not talking about your family or their achievements. I'm asking about you. What have you personally done? Bragging about your family doesn't do anything to change the reality of your own life, does it?
Well,
See? You can't think of anything, can you? That's exactly why you've pinned all your hopes and dreams on Cooper. You project all your ideals onto him because you don't have anything of your own.
Shut up! You don't know me or my life, so stop acting like you do.
I don't need to know much to see the obvious. It's written all over you. But the reality is, Cooper quit being a doctor, threw himself into gambling, and became a full-blown failure. It's time for you to accept that.
I refuse to believe that. My Cooper is smart, talented, and a good man. He's an honest, upstanding person, and his patients all admire and respect him. He's a doctor.
Then why isn't he answering your calls? Why is he avoiding contact with his own mother?
How would I know? He's probably just sleeping, that's all.
Sleeping in the middle of the day? It's a weekday after all. Shouldn't a doctor be working?
He's probably at the hospital, obviously. Maybe he's in the middle of performing surgery or something. Surgeries can take hours, you know. That's probably why he's not picking up the phone. He's probably doing one of those complex procedures, like heart surgery, maybe one of those bypass operations or something like that. Yes, that's it. He must be in surgery right now, saving someone's life.
Is that so? Well, let's hope that's the case. Though, for the record, Cooper isn't a surgeon.
Whatever. The point is, there's absolutely no truth to your absurd claims about Cooper being buried in debt. You're just jealous because you're poor. You really need to stop being so envious of us and our success.
If you say so, but I think it's time I show you some proof. How about I send you the messages I exchanged with Cooper? You'll see for yourself what's really going on.
No way. This is fake. It can't be real. That's not Cooper.
I'm afraid you're mistaken. It is definitely Cooper. This was just a few days before he ran off in the middle of the night. By that point, he was so desperate that he had even pawned the engagement ring. Can you imagine? Things were that bad. And in the midst of all that, you went and bought a $200,000 luxury car with his credit card. I'm not surprised he felt like running away after that.
No way. Cooper doing something like this? I can't believe it. My son, of all people, could never be that kind of person. No.
Oh, what's the matter?
The debt collectors, they're pounding on the door, demanding we bring Cooper out. But he's not here. They won't stop banging. Hannah, where is Cooper right now?
Who knows? I certainly don't.
Enough of this. You need to bring Cooper back here now. He has to take responsibility for his actions. How could he do this, dragging me into this mess like this? He's an absolute disgrace of a son.
You're really quick to abandon him, aren't you? It seems like Cooper was right all along. He told me, you know. He said that you only saw him as a status symbol. I guess he was telling the truth.
What? How dare you? Or maybe you should take responsibility. After all, you're the one who let him fall so low. It's partly your fault too, isn't it?
Well, you can say whatever you want, but if you're going to start talking about responsibility, then you should acknowledge that you have some responsibility in this too.
What? Me? I've done nothing but raise him the best way I could. If he decided to go down this wrong path, that's his fault, not mine. I bear no responsibility.
The fact that you can say that so calmly just proves how much you failed as a parent. But hey, why don't you hear it directly from him? I'll have him get in touch with you.
Wait, from him? You mean Cooper? Yes! Contact him immediately. Why didn't you just do that from the start?
All right. Please hold on for a moment.
Mom, it's me, Cooper.
Cooper, what on earth is going on? Why are those people outside? Are they trying to collect something from us?
Yeah, I know they're out there. Just be careful. They can get really aggressive.
Cooper, why are you talking like this is some sort of outside problem? This is your debt we're dealing with. You're the one who needs to pay it back. You can't just act like it's not your responsibility.
No, it's not just my debt. It's also your debt, Mom.
What do you mean by that?
Remember when you bought that $200,000 handmade diamond ring using my credit card? It was just a few days later that all this trouble started. You even signed the ownership documents for the ring. I remember that clearly.
Yeah, I did sign it, but...
Did you actually read those documents?
I mean, I glanced at them, but...
I told you to read them carefully. I made that very clear.
Okay, but what does that matter? Why are you bringing up those documents now?
Mom, you are a co-signer on my debt. This means that if I fail to pay it back, you are also responsible for the payments.
Wait, what?
Since you went ahead and bought that $200,000 car without thinking twice, I figured you'd be okay with the idea of sharing the burden of the debt. After all, you were the one who made that purchase.
Hold on. Are you saying that you tricked me into this? You deceived me!
I didn't trick you. I told you to read the document, so it's not my fault if you chose to ignore that advice. Why didn't you read them?
Why would I read a document like that? It's ridiculous. No one reads those things. And the idea of being a co-signer? That's just absurd. I will absolutely not pay any of this debt.
Listen, I'm taking responsibility for my share of the debt, so you need to pay back the $200,000 yourself. That seems fair to me, don't you think?
No way! Why should I have to pay for your mistakes? This has nothing to do with me. I refuse to pay.
If you don't agree to this, then I will have no choice but to sue you.
Sue me? Are you serious right now?
Absolutely, I will sue you for credit card fraud. You used my card without my knowledge or consent, and that puts you in a very serious situation.
Oh my God! This can't be happening! My son, of all people, is resorting to such desperate measures?
Yes, this is your son doing what he has to do. You treated me like an accessory, like a trophy to show off. You wanted to brag about having a doctor for a son, but what's it worth if I'm just a failure now? This attitude, Mom, it reflects on both of us. We're definitely related.
Don't you dare compare me to you. I'm from an elite family. I'm wealthy and successful.
Mom, that's really pathetic. You need to stop bragging about your relatives and start focusing on your own achievements instead.
Shut up! How dare you speak to me that way?
Let's face the facts together. You need to pay back the $200,000, and I'll take care of my own debts. I'll communicate that clearly to the debt collectors, too.
$200,000? There's no way I can afford that. Please, just find some way out of this mess.
You've already exhausted Dad's inheritance. You should have thought ahead. And if you don't, this is the consequence you face. Honestly, it's not my place to say it, but someone had to tell you.
No, I can't handle $200,000 in debt. It's far too much to deal with.
Then I guess it's time to cut off contact. We'll both be better off separated.
Wait, you can't just leave me like this.
I see. So you hurried to return the ring and ended up getting into a serious accident, breaking your arms in the process. Now you're looking at a month of recovery, and your car was completely totaled, and the ring was rendered a total loss in the fire.
Please help me.
Well, that's really the only way to put it, isn't it? But let's be clear, this situation is the result of your own actions. You'll have to figure out how to deal with this yourself.
Don't say something so cold. You must have enough income to support Cooper, right?
I'm barely getting by. He managed to earn a measly $300 a month from his reselling side hustle, which was helpful. But my income is below average, so I can't provide you with any financial assistance.
But paying back $200,000 in debt in this state is absolutely impossible. The car is destroyed, and my assets are gone. I can't live like this. Every day, the debt collectors come knocking, and my only son has vanished.
How am I supposed to keep going?
It's all right. Cooper will come back here soon enough.
What do you mean by that?
I contacted Cooper and introduced him to Dave, the debt collector. I decided that Cooper couldn't get away without facing this, and they both might get some legitimate job opportunities. So let's work together to pay off this debt, all right?
Wait, are you saying you sold us out to the debt collector?
Well, it's a reasonable demand to ask for the money that was lent. You both signed those documents, so it's all in writing.
And jobs, they're probably some shady work, right? I don't want anything to do with that. I don't want to work.
You're not a child anymore. Haven't you enjoyed living off other people's money for long enough? Maybe it's time you learned what it's like to earn your own.
How irresponsible of you!
I hear the work can be quite physically demanding, so I hope you give it your all.
You traitor! Supporting the debt collector like this?
Traitor? That's quite an accusation coming from someone like you. I don't want to hear that from a thief.
How can you call me a thief? You know that I've always provided for my family. I didn't choose this situation. It just happened. And now you turn your back on me?
Providing for your family? Is that how you see it? By buying a diamond ring worth $200,000 on someone else's credit card? You've been living in denial. How long did you think you could keep this up?
You don't understand. I had to show off. I had to maintain appearances. It's what everyone expects of me.
And look where that has landed you, on the brink of bankruptcy and facing daily harassment from debt collectors. Is it worth it? Was the status worth ruining your life over?
Maybe you don't realize this, but the pressure I faced was immense. I had to keep up the facade, and now it's all come crashing down. Do you have any idea what that's like?
I do understand. You put yourself in this position. You're the one who prioritized appearance over reality, and now the consequences are here to stay.
Then what am I supposed to do? I can't just roll over and accept this fate. I refuse to let it end like this.
You have no choice. Accept your reality and start taking responsibility. It's time to grow up and face the music. You can't keep running away from the truth.
Grow up? Easy for you to say. You're not the one who's going to be dealing with this. You're not the one facing the debt collectors every day.
No, I'm not. But I'm here to help you face it. I may not be able to fix everything, but you'll have to take some steps yourself. Start by accepting the reality of the situation.
Accept it? How can I accept that I'm drowning in debt with no way out? That my own son has abandoned me?
Cooper has not abandoned you. He's trying to navigate this mess just like you. He might need some time to figure things out, but he'll be back. In the meantime, you need to make changes.
I don't know how. What can I possibly do to make things right? It feels hopeless.
You can start by taking that job. It might not be ideal, but it's a step towards regaining control over your life. You have to fight back, or you'll lose everything.
How can you be so sure that this will work? What if it all goes wrong?
Nothing in life is certain, but you have to try. You can't just sit here wallowing in self-pity while your situation worsens. It's time to act.
Fine, I'll consider it, but I'm not promising anything. I can't just throw myself into something without knowing what it entails.
That's fair. Just remember, if you don't take any action, you'll end up with nothing left. No son, no money, no dignity. Think about it. Jen found herself trapped in a grim situation, burdened by an overwhelming debt of $200,000. It was a weight so immense that it consumed her every thought, draining the very essence of her being. The burden was like a thick, suffocating fog that clouded her mind, leaving little room for hope or optimism. After her discharge from the hospital, Jen, along with her son Cooper, was sent to a workplace that had been arranged by a loan shark. This wasn't just any job, it was a cruel lifeline, a reminder that their lives were no longer their own, but pawns in someone else's game. The factory they were sent to was the embodiment of misery, a place where each day felt like an eternity. The factory was a place of relentless noise, the air thick with the sounds of machinery, the clanging of metal, and the hum of workers who shared in their suffering. It wasn't just the physical labor that drained them. It was the overwhelming sense of hopelessness that seemed to hang in the air. The workers moved like zombies, faces etched with exhaustion, their bodies broken by the monotonous demands of their tasks. Jen and Cooper trudged through each day, their faces drawn, their movements stiff and robotic. They were not working in a place of industry. They were trapped in a place of despair where every minute felt like a lifetime. The work itself was grueling, each task designed to push their bodies to the limit. There was no mercy from their overseers. The factory was a place where there was no room for mistakes, where the smallest error was met with a harsh reprimand or even a harsher punishment. Workers were berated, humiliated, and worked to the bone with little regard for their well-being. Every mistake was met with the shrill voice of a supervisor who seemed to take pleasure in reminding them of their place in the system. The factory felt like a prison, and Jen could see no way out. She and Cooper were stuck in this cycle, grinding away for a debt that seemed impossible to ever pay off. No matter how much they worked, the looming figure of the loan shark haunted their every waking moment. Each day felt like a repeat to the last. The sounds of the machines, the hum of the assembly lines, and the heavy footfalls of the workers became the soundtrack to their existence. Jen and Cooper worked under the oppressive gaze of their supervisors, their every move scrutinized, their efforts rarely acknowledged. The hours dragged on endlessly, each one longer than the last, and every moment seemed to stretch out indefinitely. The clock on the wall seemed to move in slow motion, as though time itself was mocking them. It wasn't just the grueling work that wore them down. It was the realization that they were stuck in a seemingly endless loop. The weight of the debt, the constant pressure to meet quotas, and the lack of any hope for escape all combined to create a suffocating sense of despair. Jen began to wonder if they would ever be able to repay such an insurmountable debt. The thought of it was overwhelming, and every day seemed to bring them further away from the possibility of ever seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. No matter how many hours they worked, no matter how much they sacrificed, it felt like the mountain of debt was insurmountable. The money they earned barely made a dent in what they owed, and the loan shark's demands grew more and more pressing. Each time they thought they were close to repaying the debt, another setback would occur, setting them back even further. The sense of hopelessness was all-consuming, and Jen began to fear that they would never escape. The factory was a place where time moved slowly, but the days seemed to blur together, indistinguishable from one another. It was a place where there was no respite, no relief, no hope. The workers were treated like machines, their bodies pushed beyond their limits, their spirits crushed under the weight of their circumstances. Jen and Cooper felt like they were losing themselves in the monotony, their identities swallowed by the relentless demands of the factory. They were no longer individuals, no longer people with dreams and hopes. They were nothing more than cogs in the machine. Their lives dictated by the whims of the loan shark and their employers. It was in the midst of this crushing despair that something unexpected happened. A glimmer of fortune appeared, like a distant star in the night sky, offering a sliver of hope. Cooper, after years of struggle and hardship, found himself on the winning side of life. It started with a stroke of luck, a fluke that seemed almost too good to be true. Cooper had hit the jackpot with horse racing, a stroke of fortune that allowed him to pay off his $200,000 debt in full. It was as though the universe had finally smiled upon him after all the hardship he had endured. The crushing weight of the debt was lifted from his shoulders, and for the first time in years, Cooper felt a sense of freedom. The victory in the race was more than just money. It was the chance to break free from the shackles of their miserable existence. For the first time in a long time, he had a chance to live a life that wasn't dictated by fear and debt. Cooper's newfound financial freedom was like a breath of fresh air, a stark contrast to the suffocating existence Jen and he had been living. With the money he won, Cooper was able to pay off the debt that had haunted them for so long. It must have been an incredible feeling to finally break free from the factory, to walk away from the grueling work in the oppressive environment. The factory had become a symbol of their suffering, a place that had stripped them of their dignity. And now, for Cooper at least, it was a distant memory. He was free, liberated from the very thing that had held them both captive for so long. But while Cooper's fortunes had changed, Jen was left behind, still trapped in the same grim reality. It was almost cruel how quickly fortunes could change. As Cooper celebrated his newfound freedom, Jen remained stuck in the factory, still working day after day to pay off a debt that seemed impossible to overcome. The disparity between their situations was striking. While Cooper was now free, Jen was still shackled by the weight of her past mistakes. It was as if fate had chosen to reward one person while punishing the other. The contrast between their lives must have been painfully obvious to Jen, and she must have struggled to come to terms with it. It was during this difficult time that Jen reached out for help. She was desperate, overwhelmed, and scared. She had always believed that Cooper would be there for her, that they would face their struggles together, as they always had. But when Jen called out for help, Cooper made the heartbreaking decision to sever ties with her. He felt that it was necessary to cut the connection, especially since he believed that Jen had only seen him as a status symbol rather than a true friend. His decision must have been agonizing. He had finally found freedom, but at the cost of abandoning the person who had once shared in his struggles. Jen must have been devastated when she realized that Cooper, the person she had relied on for so long, had chosen to abandon her. The feelings of betrayal must have been overwhelming. She had always believed that their bond was unbreakable, that no matter how tough things got, they would always be there for each other. But now, Cooper had made his choice, and Jen was left to pick up the pieces of her shattered world. The loneliness must have been suffocating. Jen had lost the one person who had truly understood her pain, and now she was left to navigate a world that felt empty and cold. As Jen sat alone in her thoughts, she must have been consumed by a whirlwind of emotions. Anger, sadness, and betrayal must have collided within her. How could Cooper, the one person who had shared in her suffering, turn his back on her now? Was she angry at him for abandoning her? Or was she heartbroken? The loneliness she felt must have been unbearable. And the realization that she was now completely alone must have been more crushing than any of the physical burdens she had faced. The emotional toll of the betrayal was immense, and Jen must have wondered how she would ever find the strength to move on. The feelings of betrayal were profound. Jen had always believed that her bond with Cooper was unbreakable, that it could withstand any storm. But in the end, it had shattered under the weight of life's cruel realities. The emotional scars from this betrayal would likely stay with Jen for a long time. As Cooper moved on to a better life, Jen was left to pick up the pieces of her shattered existence. She had lost more than just her financial security. She had lost the person who had been her closest companion, the one person who had truly understood the depths of her struggles. Jen's journey was far from over, but whether it would lead to redemption or further despair was uncertain. The path ahead was unclear, but one thing was certain. Jen's story would be shaped by the scars of betrayal, loneliness, and the unrelenting weight of the debt that had once threatened to destroy her. Whether she would rise from the ashes of her shattered life or sink deeper into despair remained to be seen. But in that moment, Jen knew one thing for sure. She was no longer the person she once was, and the woman who had survived the hardships of the past would have to find a way to navigate the future. Meanwhile, my own life couldn't be more different. I am currently relishing the joys of living alone, a stark contrast to Jen's plight. The tranquility of solitude allows me to savor the freedom that comes with it. Every day, I experience the happiness of spending my hard-earned money solely for my own enjoyment and comfort. I have the privilege of being able to make choices without having to consider anyone else's needs or desires. I can decide how to decorate my space, what to eat, and how to spend my time, all without anyone else's input. This autonomy brings me immense satisfaction and a sense of pride. Living alone, I've been able to create a space that is entirely my own, a reflection of who I am and what I enjoy. I can choose the colors for my walls, the artwork for my shelves, and the style of furniture that best suits my personality. I can surround myself with the things that bring me joy and comfort, whether it's a cozy reading nook in the corner, a kitchen stocked with my favorite snacks, or a living room that feels like an extension of myself. The independence I enjoy is liberating. It allows me to shape my home to fit my desires and to make each moment of my life feel like an opportunity for self-expression. There is a profound joy in knowing that I am responsible for my own happiness. I get to make the decisions that define my life, and I don't have to answer to anyone else. Every day, I curate my own experiences, choosing the activities and moments that bring me peace and fulfillment. Whether it's indulging in a hobby, treating myself to a nice meal, or simply enjoying the peace and quiet of my home, every moment feels like a personal triumph. I can spend my evenings curled up with a good book, binge watching a favorite show, or pursuing creative projects without any interruptions or demands from others. There's no one to tell me what I should do or how I should feel. Each day feels like a blank canvas, ready for me to fill with whatever I choose. In contrast, Jen's life is entirely different. She is trapped in a situation where her every move is dictated by forces beyond her control. The weight of her responsibilities and the crushing burden of her financial debt have taken away her ability to enjoy even the smallest moments of freedom. Jen's days are consumed by the oppressive reality of living under someone else's thumb, and the choices she once had are now a distant memory. Instead of choosing how to spend her time, she is forced into a grueling routine dictated by the need to survive. She no longer has the luxury of personal space or time, and the joy of living is no longer hers to enjoy. Living alone has its challenges, of course. There are moments of loneliness, times when I wish I had someone to share experiences with. There are times when I yearn for the company of a close friend or a loved one to share a conversation or enjoy an evening out. But these feelings are fleeting. They come and go like waves, and they never overpower the overwhelming sense of freedom I have. The moments of solitude allow me to truly appreciate the peace that comes with being by myself. I am able to focus on my own needs and growth without the distractions or responsibilities that come with living with others. I am free to make decisions that are solely based on what I want, not what someone else needs or desires. This is a rare and precious gift, one that I value more and more each day. I know that not everyone enjoys living alone. Some people crave the company of others, seeking out social connections and finding comfort in shared spaces. But for me, the joy of solitude is unmatched. There's a peace that comes from not having to accommodate anyone else's schedule or preferences. It's not that I don't value relationships or human connection. On the contrary, I deeply appreciate the people in my life. But the beauty of living alone is that I can choose when and how I interact with others. I am in control of my own time and energy, and I don't have to compromise on my own needs to accommodate someone else's. The contrast between Jen's situation and mine could not be starker. Jen's life is defined by the weight of financial struggles, and her every action is a response to the demands placed upon her, whether it's the relentless pressure of repaying a crushing debt or the emotional toll of betrayal. Her existence is shaped by forces that are outside of her control. In contrast, my life is characterized by a sense of fulfillment and contentment. I am able to take pleasure in the small things, the warmth of a cup of coffee in the morning, the satisfaction of completing a project, or the quiet enjoyment of an evening spent reading or watching my favorite shows. There's no looming burden of debt or disappointment hanging over me. Each day feels like a new opportunity to embrace life's simple pleasures and find joy in the small moments. Jen, on the other hand, seems caught in a perpetual struggle. Every day, she faces the harsh reality of her debt and the emotional scars left by those who have betrayed her. She's been left to navigate a world that feels cold and unforgiving, where even the most basic needs seem out of reach. While I get to enjoy the luxury of making choices that reflect my desires, Jen is forced to live within the constraints of a life that has been dictated by her past decisions and the decisions of those around her. The emotional toll of Jen's situation is far beyond what I can fully understand, though I can try to imagine it. The betrayal she feels from Cooper, the person she once thought she could rely on, must be suffocating. To have someone you love and trust walk away when you need them most is a pain that I can only hope to never experience. It's a betrayal that cuts deep, leaving scars that might never fully heal. And while I do experience moments of loneliness, the reality of being abandoned in the midst of such hardship must feel like an insurmountable mountain. Jen's emotional state is shaped by a combination of grief, disappointment, and betrayal, and there's no clear path out of that emotional maze. Every day, she must confront the pain of her circumstances with no real sense of escape or relief. For me, my life feels like a gentle current, moving forward at my own pace. I am in control of my own direction, and I can chart my own course through the world. While there are challenges to face, they are far less intense and less overwhelming than what Jen faces on a daily basis. The challenges I face are of my own making, whether it's deciding how to manage my time, maintaining relationships, or navigating the ups and downs of work and personal goals. They are challenges I feel prepared to tackle, with a sense of agency and control over my decisions. But even as I enjoy the tranquility of my life, I cannot help but think about Jen and the immense burden she carries. I wonder if she will ever find a way out of the darkness that has consumed her, or if she will be trapped in her current circumstances forever. It's hard to imagine what it must be like to feel so powerless, to be so weighed down by circumstances that you can't control. Jen's life serves as a stark reminder of how quickly things can spiral out of control and how unpredictable life can be. The choices we make and the paths we walk can lead us down vastly different roads. For Jen, it seems as though the road ahead is filled with obstacles that seem insurmountable, while for me, the road feels wide open, filled with possibilities. In reflecting on both Jen's plight and my own, it becomes clear that life can take many different paths. While Jen is ensnared in a web of debt and betrayal, I am reveling in the freedom of solitude. The contrast between our experiences highlights the unpredictable nature of life and the different outcomes that can result from the choices we make and the circumstances we find ourselves in. It's a reminder that life's journey is rarely straightforward, and the paths we choose can lead us to vastly different destinations. It's also a reminder of the power of choice. While Jen's life is defined by circumstances she couldn't control, I have been fortunate enough to carve out a life that reflects my values and desires. The freedom to choose is a privilege, one that I don't take lightly. I recognize that my independence and the life I lead are not guaranteed for everyone, and that many people, like Jen, find themselves trapped by circumstances that feel beyond their control. Ultimately, the journey through life is shaped by the choices we make, the paths we choose, and the people we surround ourselves with. Jen's story serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the fragility of life and how quickly things can change. For me, it's a reminder to appreciate the freedom I have and to not take it for granted. Life can be unpredictable, and the experiences we go through are often shaped by forces outside our control. But in the end, it's how we respond to those challenges and how we navigate the twists and turns of life that defines us. As I reflect on the contrast between my life and Jen's, I am filled with a sense of gratitude for the autonomy I have and the opportunities that lie ahead. But I also carry with me a sense of empathy for Jen, knowing that life is not always fair, and that we are all at the mercy of circumstances that we cannot always control. The paths we walk may diverge, but the experiences we share as human beings can help us connect and understand one another in ways that transcend the boundaries of our individual lives.
What the hell is going on here? Hey, Sam, answer me, damn it! I don't have all day to sit around waiting for a reply from you all day again.
What is it now? Quit yelling.
Where are you right now?
I'm at work. What do you want now of all times? I'm busy. I got a meeting coming up here soon, and then I have to finish the rest of my work before coming home.
Well, I just came home and found that all my things were gone from my room. All of my clothing, all of my makeup, and all of my jewelry gone. What is going on here?
It's not that big a deal.
It's a huge deal. All my things are suddenly gone without any explanation. What is going on?
I just threw them out.
You threw them out? My stuff?
Yeah, I don't need it anymore.
What do you mean?
May got into med school, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Well, my daughter, who has my blood running through her veins, managed to get into a prestigious medical school. My parents and I, we both graduated from famous universities as well, right? May is clearly showing she has that same excellence running in her veins like we all have.
I don't know what you mean by blood here, but I will admit she's smart, so what's your point? How does this relate to you tossing all of my things?
You've already paid for her tuition to medical school, haven't you? So you're no longer necessary.
Huh?
Now that you've paid $500,000 for May's tuition, you're officially useless. And she hates you, so I made sure she threw your stuff out. Get out!
Wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. Does May know about this?
I told you she hates you, didn't I? How did you not realize that?
So that's why both of you suddenly started ignoring me.
You're so slow to catch on. It's too late now. You're really dense, aren't you? No wonder you only have a high school diploma. Both me and May, we've always been disgusted by how low your education level is. Now I can finally get rid of you and feel so much better.
Get rid of me? What does that even mean? Why are you wanting to get rid of me?
It means divorce. Someone like you is not suitable for our family's financial situation anymore.
Wait, not suitable?
You should be thankful I even married you in the first place. Now just accept the divorce and get out. I don't even know if I'm gonna remarry, but if I do, it'll be to someone more suitable. Someone with a higher education who can fit into our family's lifestyle. May will probably be happier with that, too.
I cannot accept this.
Look, as a parent, you should prioritize your daughter's happiness. May thinks you'll make her miserable if you stay in her life as her mother. So why not put your ego aside and do what's best for her? A real parent would do that, don't you think?
So once the tuition is paid, I'm just useless to you, huh?
Don't act all proud of paying it when you used my father's inheritance to cover the costs.
Fine then, I'll leave.
Yes! Finally, the trash is gone!
Mom, can I stay with you for a little while? Oh no, what happened? Did you and Sam have another fight? Oh, everything should be perfect now that May got into med school. What's there to fight about? It's not a fight. I was kicked out of the house. What? Why? After I paid the tuition, Sam told me that I was no longer needed. No, but that money was... It's fine. I kept it a secret from both of them. But still, how could they do this to you? I had a feeling something like this would happen sooner or later. Deep down, I was prepared for it, so right now I'm staying a little calm. Sam's behavior has been getting worse for the past few years. He used to be such a great person, serious, hardworking, and always doing his best. Yeah, he was, and he was so kind, too. I respected him a lot and loved him for it, but ever since he lost his job at his old company, he's just started falling apart. Wait, you're not feeling sorry for him, are you? Feeling sorry for him? No way. I'm just looking at everything from a calm, analytical point of view. I see. So you're not going to cry about it? Of course not. I've got a plan in mind. Once I get home, I'll tell you everything. All right, but make sure you hurry up and get back home. Sam, have your feelings not changed at all?
Of course not. My decision is as solid as a diamond. There's no changing it.
But how did it end up like this? What's the reason behind all this? I can't just accept it.
It's because you're a worthless, low-educated person. That's why.
Education isn't something that only matters now. It's not something new. If you cared so much about education in a wife, then you shouldn't have married me in the first place. Stop lying to me. Let's talk honestly for once.
No, this is the truth. Listen, I've realized the truth about how the world works.
The truth?
This world is divided into consumers and things that get consumed. The consumers are the highly educated, and the ones who are consumed are the lowly educated. Society functions because the highly educated handle the lowly educated. That's how things work.
Wait a minute. That's not true at all. You're talking nonsense.
Well, someone like you wouldn't even realize that, and you'll just end up being used by others and eventually thrown away.
So what exactly does that mean for me?
It means you're just someone who has value only as someone to be used. I treated you like money. Did you honestly think I ever planned to have you as my wife? I never had any intention of that at all.
That's wrong. That's completely wrong.
It's not wrong. This is how things are. It's reality. Your parents are high school graduates, right? That's exactly why I helped you out. I used your father's inheritance to pay for May's tuition. Your father was only worth that much. That's just the truth.
Stop saying such things. I could handle it if you're talking about me, but my father too?
I'm just telling it like it is. Don't shoot the messenger.
So May thinks the same way as you, huh?
That's right. She's also part of the consuming side because she's highly educated.
So that's how it is. Well, fine. Now I can deal with the both of you at the same time.
What? What are you talking about?
You're going to divorce me, right? How about I just send the divorce papers myself?
Yeah, go ahead. Just don't cause us any more trouble, you low-educated fool. I really wish I could erase the fact that I was ever married to someone like you from my memory.
What is wrong with you? Fine, I get it now. I'll handle everything right away. But just so you know, you'll regret this later. So, how's the divorce with Dad going? Is there any progress on it? May, having a mother like you is the biggest black mark on my life. You'd better not tell anyone about this, you hear me? Of course, if that's what you want, I won't say a word. From now on, I'm going to walk the path of an elite doctor. If anyone ever finds out that my mother is a high school graduate, it'll totally ruin my life. It would destroy my entire career. So all of this was what your father taught you, huh? Of course, what else could it be? Such a shame. Huh? What did you just say? How dare you speak to me like that when you're a low-educated person yourself? You were planning to live off the money I'll make as a doctor, weren't you? Do you think I'd ever let that happen? I wasn't trying to do that. I've always planned to live off my own earnings, and I only ever wanted your happiness, nothing else. Ugh, you're disgusting. Stop pretending to be a mother. Fine, it's useless to argue with you. In that case, I'll send the divorce papers as soon as possible so that we can be done with this. Sam, are you serious about all this? Is this really what you want? You're acting like you don't care about anything anymore.
Of course I'm serious. This is the path I've chosen, and I'm not gonna back down. You should have known from the start that this was gonna happen. You really should have seen it coming. You just didn't want to acknowledge it.
What do you mean by that? You think I didn't try to understand? I tried so hard to make this work.
Make it work, please. You just didn't get it. You're just a low-educated person who's been taken advantage of all these years, and you never saw it. I've moved on from you. It's over.
I can't believe this. This isn't the person I thought you were.
You should have figured that out earlier. If you'd been more aware, you wouldn't be in this situation now. You think your education doesn't matter, but it does. It always has.
But we built a family together. Doesn't that mean something? Doesn't that count for anything?
It did count for something, but not anymore. You were part of the plan, but now you're just an obstacle to my goals. It's time to move on, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
How can you say that? How can you be so heartless?
Heartless? I'm just being realistic. I have no time for people who can't keep up with me. I'm moving forward, and if you're not coming with me, then you're just getting in the way.
But we're family. Doesn't that count for something? You think I'm just going to disappear like that?
You're already gone, whether you realize it or not. I've made my choice, and I'm sticking to it. I don't care what you think anymore. What the hell is this about?
Oh, what now? I thought I had already handed over the divorce proceedings to the lawyer. We shouldn't need to talk anymore.
That's not what I'm talking about. It's about the university tuition.
Tuition? What about it?
You've been lying to us, haven't you?
Shut up. You're making it sound worse than it is. What are you even talking about?
Just now I received a bill from the university for tuition. What's going on? You said you had paid it all.
Yes, that's right. I'm sure I made the payment, though.
So you mean this is the university's mistake? Dave caused all this confusion? I'll file a complaint.
Oh, don't bother. They didn't make any mistake.
Then what's going on here? I don't get it.
The payment I made was for the entrance fee. I haven't paid the tuition yet.
What did you just say?
I only paid the $20,000 entrance fee. I haven't paid the $500,000 tuition yet.
What the hell?
Because the payment deadline hasn't arrived yet, and then all of a sudden you guys started ignoring me and kicked me out of the house. It led to the divorce, so I figured I didn't have to pay anymore.
Fine! That's ridiculous! You still have to pay it!
Why should I pay it? I'm no longer a part of your family. You're May's father, aren't you? You should be the one paying.
There's no way I can pay such a huge amount!
It's fine. You don't have to pay the $500,000 all at once. If you pay in installments over 6 years, you should be able to manage, right?
What are you talking about? Do you have any idea how much that still is?
It would be around $7,000 per month.
$7,000? There's no way I can pay $7,000 a month. I'm just an office worker.
Plus, you were fired from your last job and barely managed to get rehired as a contract employee.
You!
Oh, sorry, I thought it would be better to say it honestly. I'm just trying to explain the situation here.
By the way, what about student loans? Couldn't you use that?
Right, that's true. You could still apply for the university scholarship program.
What? Is that really possible?
Yes, you can borrow up to $1,000 a month, so this might work out. It's a small amount, but it could help you manage the tuition.
$1,000?
With that, you'd only need $6,000 a month to cover your tuition.
6,000? That's the equivalent of my entire salary for 3 months!
Oh, I didn't realize it was like that. I understand it's a heavy burden, but we have to figure something out. It's your daughter's future at stake here.
So what happens if we don't pay?
If you don't pay, your enrollment will be canceled.
Cancelled? So that's what you were after?
It's not about me having an agenda. I'm just fulfilling my basic responsibilities. You're the one who cut ties with me. Don't make me the bad guy here.
I didn't cut ties with you. You're the one who wanted this divorce. Now you're trying to make me pay for something that isn't even my fault.
That's what you think, but I'm not responsible for it. I never signed up for this. We agreed on the tuition, and now you're throwing everything back at me. But you really think it's right to burden me with this alone? You should have thought about that before everything fell apart. You shouldn't have thrown your responsibilities on me. I've done everything I can, but now you're expecting me to do even more?
If we don't pay, then what? Will they cancel her enrollment?
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen, like I just said.
So you're telling me that this is my problem now? You want me to pay $500,000 for May's education because of your incompetence?
No, you're the one responsible for not paying on time. I've done everything I can, and now it is too late to fix things. If you care about her, you'll step up and handle this.
Well, I won't pay for this. It's not my responsibility. She should have been prepared to pay it herself.
It's not that simple. You need to step up and help. You're her father.
I've told you already, I'm not in a position to pay that kind of money. This is all your fault, and I'm not taking the blame for it.
Wait a second. Don't you dare try to get out of this by blaming me. This is your responsibility as much as mine.
What do you want me to do? You're the one who decided to leave everything to me, aren't you?
I never left it all to you. You've had plenty of time to set up and deal with it, but you didn't. Now we're facing the consequences.
So what should we do now? Are you expecting me to just pay it all at once?
It's not about paying it all at once. You can pay it over time, but you need to show some responsibility here.
I can't handle it. I don't make enough money to cover this.
There are options, but you're just avoiding them.
No, I'm not avoiding anything. You're the one who wants to make this my problem.
Don't make excuses. You've made your bed, now lie in it. I am not responsible for this mess, and I am not going to clean it up.
Fine, then let it be. But if you don't pay, everything will fall apart.
And what happens if we can't pay? What happens then?
We'll face the consequences. You're putting our daughter's future at risk, and that's on you.
I've told you I'm not going to pay. Don't expect me to suddenly make it work.
Fine, I'll figure something out myself.
So what, you're going to handle it without me?
Of course! I don't need your help. I can take care of this on my own.
Well, if you're going to do that, then good luck.
Daisy, this is a huge problem.
Oh, didn't you already divorce Esther? If that's the case, could you stop calling me your mother-in-law?
No, that's not it. The divorce happened for a reason. There were real issues behind it.
A reason? Didn't you just throw Esther out without any warning?
Yes, it's true that I kicked her out, but there were very serious reasons for that. It wasn't something I did without thought.
A reason? What kind of reason?
Esther had been tormenting our daughter May, both physically and mentally, for such a long time. She'd been bullying her.
What? That's impossible. You're telling me Esther was bullying her?
I didn't know about it either until very recently. May had been quietly suffering from it, but eventually she gathered the courage to tell me about it. She couldn't take it anymore, and when she finally opened up, I understood what had been going on.
But that doesn't make sense. How could Esther, who paid for May's tuition, do something like that? She paid for her education. She wouldn't have done that if she didn't care about May.
That's exactly what I thought too, but no! It turns out that was just another form of manipulation and control! She pretended to care about May's future, but her actions were very different!
I don't understand. What are you saying?
Earlier today, I received a tuition bill from the university. Esther hadn't paid it! She hadn't made any payments at all!
What? How could that be?
Yes, it's true. Esther had been insecure about her education, feeling inferior because she was just a high school graduate. She couldn't stand the idea that May, who was more capable, might become a true elite. She was so threatened by it that she chose to sabotage May's future in a way that would hurt her in the long run.
But, Sam, this doesn't make sense. Why would Esther do something like that? She loved May.
You don't understand. She didn't love May. She was acting out of jealousy and her own insecurity. She couldn't handle the idea that May was on a better path, one that Esther felt she couldn't attain. And in her twisted way, she decided to make sure May would struggle.
That's just unbelievable. She actually chose to hurt her own daughter over her insecurities?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. It's hard to believe, but that's the truth. Now, Daisy, I don't want to keep going in circles with this, but you need to take responsibility for what's happening now.
Responsibility? What do you mean by that?
You need to pay May's tuition. Since Esther hasn't done it, you need to step in. If we don't pay this, May's admission will be canceled, and she won't be able to attend university at all. I'm sure you can manage it. After all, your husband passed away and left you some inheritance, right?
But tuition is so expensive. We're talking about $500,000 here.
Yes, I know it's a lot, but I also know that you have the means. Your husband left you his inheritance. That's more than enough to cover it.
Wait, you're asking me to pay all that? No, that's ridiculous. I can't just give that kind of money away.
Daisy, why are you refusing? Don't you care about May? This is for her future, for her chance to become something more than just another person in this world. If you really care about her, then you need to step up.
But how could I possibly come up with that much money?
It's your husband's inheritance. You don't need to worry about it. You can pay it and make sure May doesn't lose her chance to succeed. We both know it's the right thing to do.
But I don't believe this. Esther would never just let something like this happen. She's the one who was supposed to be taking care of this.
That's where you're wrong, Daisy. Esther has been using May's education as a way to control her, to keep her under your thumb. She didn't care about May's success or her future. She only cared about using her for her own purposes.
But that's not what I saw. I saw a woman who was supportive, who cared for her daughter's future. Oh, this doesn't make sense.
That's because Esther is a master at hiding her true nature. She made it look like she was doing the right thing, but she wasn't. And now here we are, trying to make sense of the mess she left behind.
And you want me to pay for this mess?
Yes, because quite frankly, you're the only one who can fix it. You have the money, and it's your responsibility as a parent now. You need to make sure May gets her education, regardless of how it came to this point.
But I don't have that kind of money. I didn't marry into wealth.
Daisy, don't play dumb with me. I know your husband left you a considerable amount of money. I know you have the ability to do this, so why are you pretending like you don't?
That's not fair. My husband worked hard every single day, but we weren't rich. There's no way we could have accumulated $500,000 in savings.
Wait, you're telling me there's no inheritance? No money left for May?
That's right. There was no grand inheritance. Esther lied to you. She made it sound like there was a big inheritance so you wouldn't worry. The truth is, I've been paying for everything using the money I earned myself. All of that, including the $20,000 entrance fee, came from my own hard work and savings.
Wait, what? The entrance fee? You didn't pay that?
No, she did. The $20,000 you're talking about came from savings she had set aside for May's education. And the rest of the $500,000 that was needed, she was planning to earn it by working more, but now she doesn't even need to worry about it anymore.
That can't be true! You're telling me that Esther was lying about everything?
Yes, she was. She wanted to make sure you didn't know the truth. So she fed you lies to keep you from getting involved, while she kept her hands clean. But the truth is, she wasn't the one paying for anything.
But she was supposed to be paying! How could she let things get to this point? That's the problem. She chose her own selfish desires over her daughter's future. And now we're left to clean up the mess she made. Daisy, can't you just help out for 1 year? If you pay for the tuition just for 1 year, it would keep May from losing her place.
I don't want to. You figure it out on your own.
Daisy, please, don't you care about your granddaughter?
Of course I care about her, but I also care about the daughter I gave birth to. Esther is my child, and after what you did, after kicking her out, I have no obligation to help you anymore.
But we're family! It's your daughter's daughter!
She may be my granddaughter, but the truth is you're nothing to me now. Not after everything that's happened, so don't contact me again. We're strangers, and I am done with you. Mom, I heard about the tuition. I know now what's going on. Oh, so now you're calling me Mom again? Didn't you say that I was a part of your dark history? That I wasn't your real mom? Well, I realized I've been deceived by Dad. I didn't see things clearly. But now I understand everything, and I just want to say I love you, Mom. You're the one who made me see what's really important. I want to be with you. Really? How touching. But it's too late. I don't want to hear it. Mom, please. At least pay for the tuition. Just this once, please. See? This is what you wanted all along, wasn't it? You thought I was just a source of money for you, didn't you? You're trying to make it seem like you were wronged, but you can't just erase what happened. I won't forgive you for this so easily. Don't worry, your father will find someone else to take care of you, someone more suitable for your needs. I'm done with you. We're strangers now. But just because you're divorced from Dad doesn't mean we're strangers. We're still family. Do you want me to say it? I am done with your dad and I'm done with you. Don't ever contact me again. Even if my enrollment is canceled, I'll take the entrance exams again next year. I'll get in. You'll have to live off your dad's meager earnings. Moving to a cheaper apartment would be your only option, and you'd have to live on a much lower budget. I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't understand before. I said some really horrible things. Please forgive me. No, you kicked me out. You treated me like I didn't matter. I can't trust someone like that. You're on your own now. Don't bother me again.
Hey, just to confirm, you really don't intend to pay, do you?
You are so persistent. I've already told you I'm not going to pay.
I see. Well, that means we're strangers from now on. Don't ever contact me again.
Of course.
From now on, no matter how much May manages to establish herself as a doctor, don't you dare ask for money. You promised that, didn't you?
I would never do something like that, not in a million years. But can she really become a doctor? What about her tuition?
No problem. My parents will pay for it.
Oh, so now you're going to beg your parents for help?
I'm just using what I've got. My dad worked at a major corporation. He retired last year and must have received a hefty retirement package. I'll manage with that.
Ah, so you still haven't changed. Your head's still as clueless as ever.
What do you mean by that?
When I got divorced, I made sure to explain the situation to your parents, too.
Huh?
They were both really shocked. They bowed their heads and apologized to me. I actually felt kind of embarrassed. They seemed so regretful about how everything had turned out, especially when it came to their son's behavior. They just couldn't seem to understand how things had gotten this bad.
Did my parents believe what you said?
Of course, I explained everything in detail, how I was ignored, how I was thrown out, and how I was paying for the tuition. I made sure they understood exactly what I went through during all of this.
You!
You really don't get it, do you? I even showed them proof that I was the one who paid the tuition. I couldn't bear to look at their apologetic faces. I had to watch them squirm, feeling sorry for me when they should have been the ones correcting the mess. I'm sorry, but you shouldn't have made your parents look that way. You're a real disappointment as a son. They thought their son was better than that.
Damn you for doing something unnecessary!
By the way, because of this, they've told me they want to cut ties with you two. So even if you try to contact them, they probably won't talk to you. It's over, you know. They've made their decision.
What?
Go ahead, try calling them.
You're right. They've blocked my calls.
So now you're on your own when it comes to paying May's tuition. Stop being foolish and relying on others and get to work. Make sure you earn the money yourself. It's your responsibility now, not anyone else's.
Esther, I was wrong. Please forgive me.
May said the same thing, you know. You two really are alike, father and daughter. Both of you always think you can get away with anything without taking responsibility.
Hey, how can you just switch off your feelings like this? You saw how hard May was studying, didn't you? How can you just erase that effort from your mind? That's a part of her life. She worked so hard for this. How can you pretend that doesn't matter?
Of course, I know how hard she worked. She really pushed herself, but you can't just erase what's already been done. The past doesn't just disappear. Then did you know how much I sacrificed for you both? Did you ever think about that?
That's...
Did you know and still treat me like this? If you did, that's just the lowest thing you could do. Of course, even if you didn't know, it's still terrible. But if you knew all of this and you still treated me the way you did, that's unforgivable.
You're always talking about things like consumption and being consumed or acting like an elite because of your academic credentials. Don't talk nonsense. You didn't lose your job because of your education. It wasn't your degrees that failed you. You just got fired, and now you're sulking like a child and trying to take the easy way out. You don't need to make excuses or justify your behavior. What you should have done is just focus on doing your job, but you didn't do that. Instead, you sat there like a lazy child expecting things to be handed to you. You didn't even try to improve things. You just leaned on me and expected me to clean up your mess. I'm done. I have reached my breaking point. If only you had said one simple word, thank you, none of this would have happened. But you and May can't even understand that basic thing, and yet you both act like you're above everybody else.
Please, Esther, don't abandon us. We need you. Don't turn your back on us now.
You were the one who abandoned me first. You can't just pretend you're the victim here. Don't make me feel sorry for you. Don't contact me anymore. I've had enough. I want to forget as quickly as possible that I was ever married to you two. I don't want to remember it, not one bit. Mom, it's over. You got a call too, right? Sorry for dragging you into this. I didn't want to put you through all this mess. It's fine. I said everything I needed to say, so I feel better now. It's been a long time coming. Are you okay? What are you going to do now? What comes next for you? I'm fine. Now that I have 2 bad debts to deal with, it's kind of freeing, actually.
From now on, I'll be able to use my earnings however I want. I don't have to worry about anyone else. I can finally do things for myself, and that's something I haven't been able to do in so long. I'm kind of excited about it, to be honest. I'm glad. I want you to be happy. I want you to enjoy your life, do what makes you feel good. Don't forget, your dad and I will always support you. We're on your side no matter what, and we always will be. Yeah, thanks. I really appreciate it. I don't think I could make it through all of this without knowing you're behind me. You and Dad, both of you are my support, and I don't take that for granted. I'll make sure to remember it, no matter what happens. I'm sure you will. You've always been strong, even when things seemed impossible. I know you'll get through this too. Just keep your head up and don't let anyone pull you down. You've got so much ahead of you, and I want you to have the life you deserve. Thanks again, and I'll keep moving forward, and I'll make sure to keep my promises just like you taught me. I won't forget everything you've done for me. And remember, you have the power to change things. You don't have to let your past define you. It's what you do from now on that matters the most. Take every chance you can to make a future that makes you happy. And no matter what, we'll always be there to back you up. Thanks, Mom. I know you're right. I'll focus on building my future now. I'm ready to let go of the past. I've learned my lessons and I'm stronger because of it. I know you are. You've always been someone who fights for what they want. Just stay true to yourself and I have no doubt things will get better. Life may not always be easy, but you've got the strength to keep moving forward. Just don't forget who you are and what you're capable of. Thanks for believing in me. I won't let you down. Sam was unable to cover the tuition fees for May's university education, and as a result, her admission was ultimately revoked. This devastating turn of events marked the beginning of a series of dramatic changes in their lives. For years, Sam had relied heavily on my support to make ends meet, never truly considering what would happen if that support disappeared. Once I was no longer in the picture to help, they found themselves cornered, unable to cope with the mounting pressures of their situation. The first major consequence of their financial struggles was the loss of their condominium. Unable to afford the rent, they had no choice but to move out and settle into a much smaller and less comfortable apartment. This significant downgrade in their living conditions brought new challenges and heightened tensions between them. Life in poverty proved to be a harsh reality for both Sam and May, and their once decent relationship began to deteriorate rapidly. From what I've heard, their bond as a parent and child unraveled to the point where it could be described as the worst it had ever been. May, who had dreamed of going to university and pursuing a career in medicine, was understandably devastated by the loss of her opportunity to study. But rather than looking at the situation objectively, she placed all the blame squarely on Sam's shoulders. In her eyes, it was entirely his fault that she couldn't enroll in university. This belief consumed her, and as a result, she began to take out her frustrations on Sam in increasingly harsh and cruel ways. She would criticize him constantly, pointing out his failures and shortcomings. Her resentment grew stronger with each passing day, and she became relentless in her verbal attacks. Of course, Sam wasn't one to endure such treatment without pushing back. He had his own frustrations and stress to deal with, and he refused to silently accept the blame for everything. This dynamic led to explosive arguments that became a nightly occurrence in their household. The two of them would shout at each other, each trying to make their grievances heard, but neither willing to listen. The constant fighting only worsened their already fragile relationship. Amid this turmoil, May decided to take matters into her own hands. Determined not to give up on her dream of becoming a doctor, she resolved to retake the university entrance exams. Her plan was to work part-time to support herself financially while studying to gain admission to a prestigious medical school. Initially, this decision brought her a sense of purpose and hope for the future. She threw herself into her studies and her job with determination, believing that she could overcome the odds. However, the reality of balancing a demanding part-time job with the rigorous study schedule required for medical school soon became overwhelming. The stress of trying to manage both responsibilities took its toll on her, both mentally and physically. No matter how hard she tried, she couldn't keep up with the intense workload. Eventually, she was forced to face the fact that her plan was unsustainable. Reluctantly, she abandoned her dream of becoming a doctor, leaving her feeling lost and directionless. After giving up on her academic aspirations, May shifted her focus to a new goal, finding a wealthy man to marry. She reasoned that if she couldn't achieve financial stability through her own efforts, the next best option was to secure it through marriage. From what I've heard, she now spends her days glued to her phone, scrolling through various matchmaking apps. She spends hours meticulously crafting her profile, messaging potential matches, and analyzing their responses, all in the hopes of finding a partner who can provide the life of comfort and luxury she desires. Meanwhile, Sam's situation has only worsened. The stress of living in poverty, coupled with the constant arguments with May, became too much for him to handle. In an effort to escape the pressures of his daily life, he began to neglect his health. Over time, his physical condition deteriorated significantly. Simple tasks that once seemed effortless became increasingly difficult, and his overall energy levels plummeted. Despite these challenges, Sam continues to push himself to go to work every day. Dragging his exhausted and weakened body to his job, he somehow manages to keep working, though it's clear that he's struggling to keep up. Sam's mental health also seems to have taken a hit, according to what I've heard. The constant cycle of stress, financial hardship, and arguments with May has left him emotionally drained. He no longer has the energy to enjoy life or even seek out solutions to improve his situation. Instead, he's fallen into a pattern of simply surviving day to day, doing the bare minimum to keep afloat. This resignation to his circumstances is both heartbreaking and frustrating to witness. May's determination to marry into wealth might appear to be a strategic move, but it comes with its own set of challenges and risks. Navigating the world of matchmaking apps and dating platforms can be emotionally taxing, especially when the stakes are so high for her. She's placing all her hopes for a better future on the idea of finding a suitable partner, and the pressure to succeed in this endeavor must be immense. If things don't work out as she hopes, it's hard to imagine how she will cope with yet another disappointment. As for me, my life has taken a completely different path. After moving out of the shared living arrangement with Sam, I decided to rent a condominium where I could start a new chapter in my life. This decision marked a turning point for me, as it allowed me to create a space that was entirely my own, free from the stress and negativity that had plagued my previous living situation. In addition to my new home, I've also started living with my mother. This change has brought an incredible amount of joy and fulfillment into my life. Living with her has strengthened our bond in ways I never imagined possible. We've developed a routine that's filled with warmth and mutual support, and I couldn't be happier. Each day feels like a fresh start, a chance to focus on things that truly matter to me. Our days together are simple but meaningful. We share meals, exchange stories about our day, and laugh over the little things. Having her by my side has given me a sense of stability and comfort that I hadn't felt in a long time. I finally found a rhythm to life that feels natural and fulfilling. This new chapter has allowed me to prioritize my happiness and well-being, and I'm incredibly grateful for the choices that led me here. In addition to the joy of living with my mother, I've also taken steps to build a life that feels authentically my own. I've pursued new hobbies, made connections with people who share my interests, and focused on cultivating a sense of inner peace. It's not always easy, of course. There are moments when I reflect on the struggles of the past and feel a pang of sadness or regret. But those moments are fleeting, overshadowed by the overwhelming sense of gratitude I feel for the life I've built. While I found peace and joy, I can't ignore the stark contrast with Sam and May's struggles. May's decision to abandon her dream of becoming a doctor and instead pursue a wealthy marriage may seem practical in her current situation, but it's not without risks. Relying on a potential partner to solve all her problems might lead to disappointment if things don't go as planned. Moreover, her resentment towards Sam has left a lasting strain on their relationship, one that might not be easy to repair. As for Sam, his deteriorating health and the immense pressure he faces at work paint a grim picture. It's disheartening to see someone I once supported now struggling to keep up with the demands of life. Despite our differences, I can't help but hope that he'll find a way to improve his situation, whether through seeking help or making changes to his lifestyle. For now, I'm focused on embracing the positivity and joy that my new life has brought me. Each day is a reminder of how far I've come and how much I've grown. While the challenges of the past are still fresh in my mind, they've also made me appreciate the happiness I've found even more. This new chapter is one I am determined to cherish and make the most of, no matter what.